So imagine that that date is the correct date. We'll move along, moving right along. Okay, global radio email. I think most of you already know enough about what Winlink is, but it uses, for the most part, it's set up so that you can use RF to both send and receive email. Officially is a network of amateur radio and authorized government licensed stations that provides worldwide radio email using radio pathways where the internet is not present. The system's built, operated, administered entirely by licensed ham volunteers. Supports email with attachments, position reporting, weather and information bulletins, and is well known for its role in interoperable emergency and disaster relief communications. It's capable of operating completely without the internet automatically using smart network relays. Licensed Winlink operator stations use both amateur radio and government radio frequencies. That's officially from the Winlink station, the Winlink website. So it basically, you can do it over internet, and we'll see that tonight. But it also, when you don't have the opportunity to use the internet, it will go through our RF networking, networked RF stations that will send it along the way using only RF if need be. Or you also have the opportunity, and maybe we can do that tonight, to go directly from station to station. I know Joe and Tom have experimented with that a little bit, and maybe I'll ask them to say something a little bit later about how that works, or does it. I know I've never really been able to get it to work, but we'll talk about that. I don't want to go too far yet. Let's see, email. Many of you are familiar with email systems like Yahoo, Gmail, Live. Some of us older ones might be familiar with a little older systems as well. Mostly our stuff is what you might call internet mail. What is it? IMAP, Internet Mail Application Protocol, something like that. But it stores it on the server when you do it with IMAP. Message Access Protocol. I should read my own thing. Systems where your email remains on the server. You can look at it, download a copy. You can pick it up from multiple places. So I can go to the library and pick up my email. I can pick it up at home. I can have it from various places and pick it up. Now, some of you who are OGs or OMs might remember the old POP3 email. It acted more like what happens in the mailbox out in the front of your house. That once you grab the mail and bring it in, the mail no longer sits in your mailbox. So you have one copy of that mail. Winlink is like that. So what you need to remember when you use the Winlink system is to have it on like your ham computer or the computer that you're going to use most often for it. Because once you've picked it up from the Winlink servers, that email now is on your PC that you're working with, and you're not going to get it elsewhere unless you forward it someplace else. So it's good to remember that we got spoiled to be able to pick up Gmail anywhere or pick up Yahoo anywhere. Or if you've got just a regular IMAP server out there with your email on it, you can go and pull it down because it remains on the server until you delete it. But Winlink doesn't store your email after you've picked it up. So there's many ways to get to it, and we'll look at some of those ways. You can get it over the internet, which is kind of the standard. I turn mine on and just leave it running at home, unless I'm out on the road, and then I can hook up my packet radio or someplace to pick up any new email that comes in. Important to remember during your emergency deployment, there's a number of different digital modes you can use over RF to pick up the Winlink servers, or you can go simplex person to person. All right. Let's get to it. If you don't have a Winlink account already, you can open up and create a new account or refresh your old account using Winlink Express. So go to winlink.org, and download the latest copy of Winlink. And then you're going to get it's going to ask you to fill in your properties. And I'll just a kind of quick look here, if you'll allow it. Let's see, I will start my copy, and you'll see the real screen. All right. So under settings, Winlink Express setup, and I have already set it up. But when you first come in here, this is what you would go in, and you would fill in name and address and your call sign and that kind of stuff. And you can then click the update, and it will send that information to the Winlink system, and you'll then get an account through Winlink. So you would, if you don't have one yet, this is where you set it up, and this is where you get it to start working for you. Now, as I said, you don't need a registration key. You can see I got mine blocked out here, but I don't remember what it costs. $20 maybe, something like that. You don't need it, but by buying a registration key, it helps to support the endeavor. Because again, this stuff's not free. All right. Stop me if you've got any questions. All right, if you use email, most of this functionality is going to be familiar. You've got an inbox, you've got a box where your read messages are, you've got an out box, you've got a sent box. All right, you've got a message list window that kind of gives you all of the messages that are sitting there, either read or not read, but this is the stuff that this is just a list of your messages. You've got a message preview window. So when you click on one, this gives you the preview of that message. Then you've got your button bar up at the top, you know, with over here is a new, let me show you on this one here. All right, we'll reduce it a little bit. So you got your button bar at the top with you want to click there, you can get a start a new message. Click here and you can reply to a message. You can reply to all if there's more than one. This is a good quick one, an acknowledgement receipt. So if you want to simply send a real quick acknowledgement to the person that sent you the message that, yeah, I received it, you click there, it takes care of it for you. If you want to forward the message to somebody, there's a little bitty, is that an F? No, it's just the way the direction the arrow is going. If you want to forward it to somebody, you can click here. And then forward without changing the message, without putting your forward in or any changes to it, you can click here. And most all of that stuff is available under the message menu as well. All right, okay. Oh, look, I was sending a message to Tom. So let me, before I get here, I know we'll be doing that a little bit later. Okay, let me do a little thing. I think I will handle this, but let's take care of it right now. It does not, unless you turn on the capability, which you can, it doesn't automatically send and receive messages. It doesn't automatically send messages until you specifically tell it to do it, no matter what you set it up. But it doesn't automatically receive messages unless you change the setting or you open a session. Now, for the most part, we're going to use Telnet Winlink. And basically what that means is it's going to use the internet. So it's going to go out and use the internet and pick up any messages that I've got sitting there. So in order to do that, you have to open a session, and it opens, you'll see the Windows opens up, and it opens up and it doesn't immediately do it. You'll see it's going to sit here and it does an automatic connect. So every 15, 16 minutes, I guess I'm set to, it goes out and it looks for messages and brings them down. And then it'll reset, and 16 minutes will go by, it'll go out and pick up messages again. So if you want to, rather than wait for it to do that, you can click start. And by clicking start, it will go out, look for messages, and let's see, did I get it? Let's see, it says it's receiving one. All right, you see it's got the little the message ID up here, and that it's received it. And so now I should be able to go back to my inbox and see what it received. So I'm going to minimize this window. And lo and behold, somebody named sender W9TDP. So if I just click on it, all it does is okay, there we go. So you've got, let me show you a little bit. See, you've got the message. You see this one here doesn't have anything in the corner box here. This message, the second one up, does. And then the one that Tom just sent me does. And what that means is that there is an attachment. And in this case, the attachment is an ICS 213. So Tom has sent me an ICS 213. No, you don't have to do the incident name. It's to me, KC9UNZ, and it's from Tom, field operative. Hello from Florida, date, time. Winlink has a large library of forms available. The actual message sent merely indicates the information came from form. ICS 213 allowing the receiving station to recreate the form with information without actually sending the form. And so you can actually reply. If you'll remember, your normal 213 has got a place on the bottom to reply. Well, what's wrong with that? Okay, what it's telling me is I have to go back, double click on the message, and click reply. So let's go back. I'll close this. We'll double click on Tom's message, and then I'll click reply. And what it then does, it opens up that original attachment, but now with the reply field able to be filled in. So thanks for your message, Tom. I will see you tonight. Or I guess I am seeing you. Okay. All right. So again, this does not limit how much you can put in here. It's wise not to write a book, but this one, unlike the radiogram, doesn't limit you to 5 by 5. Now, when you click here, it's looking for who you are. So I'm going to be Jeff Casey. And you see I've done this before, so it shows up. Jeff KC9UNZ. EC Dane. So I've done that already, so it shows up that I've filled that field out once before. The first time you do it, it won't have that. And now, interestingly, if I click on the date time field, it brings up the current date and time. So I can simply click OK. Let me get this out of the way for me here. And so now it's got current date and time here. It's got my reply filled here. And then all I do is I submit. And what that does, it clears the form, and it creates you'll see this is a reply message. It's a general message. And then I've got a reply at the bottom, and you'll see there's a send reply viewer. So basically what I'm doing is, and it's an RE, so it's a reply. So all I do now, and here's one of the other catches to remember with Winlink, is that it doesn't automatically send it. You have to actually put it in the outbox for Winlink to know, okay, I got to send that message. Otherwise, it puts it in draft. So if I were just to save this, it's going to be in the draft. And it ain't going to go anywhere when it's in draft. So up here at the top, I click Post to Outbox. All right. And here's Tom's original message. I don't need that anymore. And you'll notice now, we've still got Tom's message here with a link. But now I have one message in my outbox. And that's this message with that little the paperclip that says there's an attachment there, and what that is an XML file that will automatically open up the ICS 213 form. And so all I do now is I can either, it's in the outbox, I don't have to do anything more. All I really need to do is simply wait until that open session. You'll remember I left that running. So I've got this open session sitting here, and it will auto connect now in 3 minutes and 5, 4, 3 seconds. I'm not patient, so I will, let me see if I can get both of these to show up at the same time. Okay, you can see the session and you can see the outbox. So I'm going to click start. And clicking start will start a new session. And it very quickly grabs my email. It sends it out. Now my outbox is empty. You'll see here. And my sent items has a new send from me to where
I already have it.
And Tom's already got it. Amazing. Let's see. Here it is from 224 at 143. What? It's UTC. So Tom's already got it.
Right.
And so he's got it as a reply.
And I have your acknowledgement. It came too.
Okay, so the acknowledgement that I received the message, which would be this puppy here, acknowledge receipt. Okay, I guess maybe it automatically did that. So I could just, now you'll see I've got this in my outbox. I clicked this acknowledgement receipt. And so I've got an acknowledgement sitting here in the outbox that, let me, again, I'm not patient, click start, and I'll send Tom the acknowledgement.
I already got it.
And you'll receive another one probably.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you see me turning around because my Windows computer, which I use for radio work, is right behind me on the other table. That's why I'm turning around. But
okay, that's right, because you've got a Mac that you usually use.
right, and so I'm doing my Zoom on a Mac here.
Okay, and then you've got that little thing that we see there.
The Windows computer is in back.
Those of you with a Macintosh, you can run Winlink using some emulation software on a Mac or on Linux. But on a Mac, since Mac is based on Linux now, you can run Wine on your Mac and run Winlink using that, Winlink Express. There are other programs that will do Winlink for Macintosh as well. I've not used any of them, and I will tell you that Winlink under Wine on Linux for me was a little funky, but it worked. If you're a Macintosh person, go ahead.
I've tried it under Parallels on my Mac, and it worked all right. But in the end, I decided that I'd just get a new Windows machine
Yeah.
for the speed.
Tom,
Yep.
Tom, when you originated the message, did you require a default request message receipt?
No, I did not.
'Cause I was wondering if that's how that came across right away.
So
I-
let me show it here.
It's not automatic on my setups. Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason I don't is because if I'm doing Winlink over RF, what it means is it's just going to double the information that has to go back and forth.
Yep.
I'm going to have to, if it takes me on RF, it might take me 3 minutes to send out a message on 40 meters. And then I would have to wait for some appropriate amount of time to get the answer back. And it would include all of that original information. So most of the time I don't do that. I don't ask for acknowledgments or receives. So
It's always smart when you're doing RF to be economical. Because if you're doing particularly if you're doing RF on HF on high frequency, it will do it, but it can take some time.
And I have the paid version of Vara, so I have as fast as logical for me to be able to send it out, but it just depends upon the path to the receiving station that's going to pass it along to the ultimate recipients. But if the atmospheric conditions are bad that day, I spent half an hour trying to get 2 messages out one day. I couldn't reach them. And the 2 stations that I'm looking at are only 22 miles away from my location here in Englewood. They're 2 stations, one in Sarasota, one in Port Charlotte. And they have 80, 40, 30, and 20 meter capabilities. And I was having to try all of them to find one that would go through efficiently. So
right, it can be a bit of a crapshoot. Vara is really, and we'll talk a little bit about the different modes, but Vara is kind of fun to watch because it gives you a little graph of how fast it's going. And so one packet of information goes out really fast, and then it adjusts, and the next pack goes out really slow, and then it'll go out fast. And so it adjusts to the capabilities on the fly, one little packet of information at a time.
yeah, fortunately, when you're doing it this way to those relay stations, there's no operator sitting there saying, well, why doesn't he send it? Why doesn't he try that motor? It's completely automated on their end. So you're not wasting somebody else's time.
Yeah.
Just my time.
Just. Did I leave that?
I've got a question when you have time.
Yeah, go ahead, Carolyn.
Yeah, so last year we practiced this and I found it was to be really helpful, and Tom sort of walked me through it. So I was wondering if you could do it again. So I just turned on Winlink Express. Let's see, I am not on a Mac, I'm on a Windows machine.
Sure.
And the thing it said is that I was not registered and that my password wouldn't work, but so I just kind of ignored all that. And then I got some things that said, you can register, but you don't need to, but it'll help us send us money. So that was interesting because we haven't really talked about that. So I was wondering if once again, Tom, you could walk me through, because I remember just that some of the steps are not really very intuitive. And maybe we've already discussed them, but doing for me is a lot better than than just listening. So could we try it again?
Well, I thought Jeff had done a fairly good job of explaining what he was doing to send me the message. But let me see.
He did a terrific job. But I didn't, now I have it open, so could somebody walk me through?
So,
or that we could do it?
once you get to the main page, past the setup section, and you get this,
Are
you get this,
do
yeah,
do
you get
have
this
an
page.
active, account,
Yes,
Carolyn?
I'm there.
Yeah.
Does
So
anyone
here,
mind if we do this? Won't you learn from this?
sure. See if so now what you would do to send me a message, you would click on message, and it'll open a new window where it says, or the drop down says new message. Click on that.
Message, click on that. Okay, got it.
All right. So now you see it's opened up and a 2 W9 TDP. Yep. That's all that's all you need, because I'm a registered user with Winlink, and that goes to me. Subject, hello, right?
Okay, so
That's the
should I,
subject.
what's this thing about being a registered user? I don't remember that. Should I pay them money to do that? Well, that makes
They as Jeff pointed out, they ask for you to become a registered member, but it doesn't prevent you from using it. No, I just go back past that window myself.
might have been in the shower for part of your explanation.
So
You
yeah,
don't,
you don't have to.
register. It
Okay,
gives
but
you
it
what-
looks like fun, so I might do it. And if it makes things faster, God, I'll do
No,
it.
it doesn't make it any faster.
Okay,
No,
Okay.
doesn't change the thing.
So hello, and then you tab down with your tab, and it'll take you to the main window, and you might write, here's the main window for messages. Yeah. And that's all you need to do in the most basic of things without looking at any forms.
yes.
Now-
When we did the forms last time. Okay, yes, that's all I'm gonna send you as an email message. So I have that. All right,
Okay.
good.
And then
So-
the only thing you do is right here.
Yeah, click to the post to outbox. And this
Okay.
I'm
brings you
looking right
to
now.
something that looks a little bit like this.
Wait a minute, folks. Okay, so I've sent as Winlink message and post to outbox box commute is, oh, there it is. Okay, yep. You did not
So
by a subject, so send it without a subject, sure, right?
yeah, it's no problem. It can do that. Now what you do is up at the top, it says open session, but you could choose from a number of different things in the drop down there. But we're using Telnet Winlink, which is the internet, rather than one of the other more specialized.
Okay, so what do I need to, also, it's coming up, this is the password you specified for NQ9A on the site property screen does not match what the Winlink system expects.
Okay.
Oh, there's it. Back-
One of the things, when was the last time you used it, Carolyn?
The last time we talked about it a year ago, but if this is gonna
Okay.
take up your time, I won't bother everybody with
No,
it.
that's
Hi, Larry,
that's a
by the way.
perfect question. And I think I have an expert here that can tell you something about that.
Yes?
Yeah, Luke, I think, had that problem earlier today.
Well, and this is what I find with
Oh,
Winlink,
okay.
it's not quite, like easy. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
because if you don't use it, then you have to re-register or not
Right.
register, but reset up your account.
There
Okay.
is a passcode, on your setup page, along with your. Go back to your setup page, Jeff.
So settings, is that what I want?
See,
Yeah.
there's the call
Settings.
sign and then password.
Okay, so we should stop this so this doesn't bore everybody else here. I can talk to you guys about it when it's not
Okay.
a public domain.
That would be set up here under settings and Winlink Express, and then you've got,
Okay, well, otherwise it looks good. So I'll do the looking up for registering. So I didn't realize that. That's very helpful that you have to do that. So it says Winlink Express setup. Is that where I want to go?
settings.
Yeah,
No,
Winlink
to do the original registration.
oh, I have to go do that. God, okay. So go to where it said registration. All right, I'll play around with it and see. Do they have some place that, like, they can run this through? Like, I can have like, instructions that I don't have to attend one of these and bore you guys?
They are notoriously unhelpful.
Unintuitive? Yeah, okay.
Right.
One of the things too, Carolyn, and for everybody, is if you do, if you don't have the password set up correctly, there's a problem like that. Now, you can see that I have here under, and I'm not sure what you've got there, but under
Yeah.
my password recovery email, I have my
Okay.
email address.
Okay.
So if I forget my password, I can click here.
Okay, so you have, so if I go over to not settings, but where did you go into? So if I wanted to start playing with this, I would go into settings and pick one of these things?
Yeah, just and make sure your settings are up to date. So it's under settings, Winlink
right.
Express setup.
Winlink Express setup. Oh, okay. So then I just have to check my my password.
Right.
Yeah, and you can, and you can, again, they'll send you an email that you can, with a recovery of your password.
All right, I'll take care of that and then we'll go from there and
Yeah.
then and that's fine. So this always seemed to be like something that it's really good for like people like us that know each other to discuss how to use it. But
Yeah.
it's always something, that's why I'm doing this, because I'm thinking, okay, I didn't get a chance this year to use it. And I want to do it. And then once you do it a few times, it in its own little chuggy way is very, very helpful. And also, like we talked about, you can do it with our app. I will get on it. So thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm looking at this as well. One of the things that's interesting is about this as well, that I can send a message that is where is it? Oh, I'm going to make a liar out of myself. Oh, I think maybe I'm thinking of something else, but you can send messages.
Even for groups.
Here, GPS position reports, which are very interesting. I got on Amazon for about $10 a little USB GPS device about the size of a $50.
Yep.
That when I plug it in, I can't do it when you've got like 3 floors of concrete above you, but you outside or get a good, where you can get a good satellite, and this thing will automatically poll your little GPS device and send out a position report of where you are currently through the system. And actually there's a map on winlink.org that will identify where you are. But you'll see, Carolyn, right now, still sitting in my outbox is this message to Tom. So I need to open a session, and I've got Winlink Telnet selected. I click on open a session, it opens it. Now it's going to wait 16 minutes to connect, but I'm not patient. So I hit start, it connects and sends that message off to Tom. And you'll see my inbox is empty.
Okay.
And my sent items now includes that message to Tom.
This is what I remember is that you had to open, that you had to take things out of the outbox and the inbox. It just wasn't like a normal thing. Okay.
Yeah, you have to post it to the outbox to get it for Winlink to send it out.
Yeah, the internet is running so fast that I have the message already.
And you can see here that Larry's been at work. So just making sure my account still works. Larry sent me a message while we were talking, and I'm going to acknowledge that he sent me that message. So I click acknowledge. It posts an acknowledgement to the outbox, and I'm done. I can close it. So you see I've got this little acknowledgement ready to go to Larry, that I got his message. And if I ignore it, since I have my telnet session sitting in the background running, this thing will automatically send out anything in my outbox in the next, in 6 minutes and 48 seconds. So when I start Winlink and I want to just have it running in the background, I start a Winlink session and then I ignore it. And Winlink goes out every 16. Now I've got this set for 16 minutes, but you in settings, you can change. Is it here or is it in, must be in the preferences here. I'll take a look, but you can change how often it'll auto connect. But again, you can click this at any time to get or send any messages that are sitting there. And I've just sent it to Larry, and I'm sure Larry in a moment will get that message that I sent him, acknowledging that I received his message, and you'll see my outbox.
Yeah. Jeff, if you look at the message that I sent you, my original ICS 213.
Yeah.
Take a look at notice the header there. It says downloaded from Telnet. It says location. It knew where I was and gave you my latitude, longitude here in Florida.
Okay. Because you've got that set up.
Yep.
Or do you have a GPS on your?
Yeah, I have had it on the machine, on the Windows machine. But since I'm sort of packing up, I had unplugged it for this evening. But yes, it knew where I was at this point.
Yeah, I should have brought it with me, but it would cost, I think, all of $10.
Yeah.
About the size of $50.
I think I spent $25 for mine.
Yeah.
I got the expensive one.
Yeah, yours probably works more reliably.
FYI, Jeff, I did get the acknowledgement that you got the message.
Excellent. All right. So over the internet, it works pretty quick.
So one thing, go ahead.
I just had a question. So I'm problem solving here with getting a new password and getting set up, and it won't let me do it unless I have my old password. You got a workaround for that?
For asking for your password to be.
This reminds me of just kind of a clunky sort of thing. I'm trying to go to settings and update things, and so again, if this ends up being a problem, that's fine. But so Winlink Express setup, and it says I have incorrect password for the account, but I need my old password to get to the new one, doesn't it figure? So, and there isn't like a simple thing that says.
What I would suggest, Carolyn.
Yes.
Go to winlink.org.
Okay.
You can see on the screen, I'm not sure that you can see, but winlink.org. And if you click on my account.
Okay.
And go down below your sign in, you'll see call sign, which is your username. So you put your call sign here and then send me my password.
All right. So I gotta get
that. And that should get you your current password sent to your email, and then you can go from there.
Okay, otherwise it looks like it's pretty straightforward as far as sending a message. So, all right, so I'm on that page and you said go to where again?
Click on my account.
Okay, put in my call sign, put in the password.
And then send my password.
No. Scroll down.
Yeah. Send my password.
Yeah.
Somebody needs, okay. It's never quite easy with them, is it? All right, send my password. So I got that to the recovery address. I'll take care of it. Thank you.
Cool.
That was fun.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
So one thing to consider with Telnet Winlink is that you can have it automatically send your messages. Anything you put to the outbox will automatically be sent if you configure your Telnet session. And there are good reasons and bad reasons to do that. The good reason is you don't have to do that extra step of starting your telnet session. And if you're in an emergency situation where you've got telnet available and RF available, telnet's going to be a whole lot faster. And so do it that way. But if you want to just do RF with a computer that's connected to the internet, you need to turn this off. And we do that at WEM, and I do that at home because I do want to test the RF path all the time. So if you bring up, Jeff, if you bring up your settings for telnet properties, the bottom right, that, yep, just to the right of your mouse, just to the right of,
No, to the right.
doesn't matter so much. If you hit that checkbox, then as soon as you post a message to your outbox, it'll get sent right away.
Right. Yeah, and again, Joe's absolutely right. You'll see that I had the polling time disabled. Did I have it disabled? Yeah. And well, I had this not checked because for a while I was toying with the RF and I didn't want an automatic telnet session to fire off because I'd create a message, get ready to play, and then, oh, it's already gone, darn it. That would happen usually if I'm getting onto the Tuesday Winlink net or one of the Winlink nets and I want to do it via RF. You don't want that turned on because it'll automatically go out and you won't have a message to send with RF.
Right.
So that's why you'll see with me, I have to actually start a Winlink session in order to send the messages because I have this turned off.
Yeah, but for people who are just telnet only, that's a reasonable thing to have set. You still have to start a Winlink session, a telnet session to receive messages. And if you're in an emergency situation and you're sending a message to somebody, it's good over voice to say, hey, I sent you a message so that they can hit start to receive that message right away rather than waiting for that timeout. There is an exception that Tom and I've played with, but I don't think we want to get into that, at least not right this now. It works a lot faster, but it's a little bit different protocol procedure than what you're doing here.
So we'll save that for the advanced session?
Yeah.
All right.
But for what it's worth, I'm sitting on a 2-meter Winlink connected to WEM. WEM has got a telnet connection to the Winlink servers. And so I'm set up so that as soon as I originate a message over RF, it'll go over RF. It will not go out over telnet. But I'm set up to poll every 6 hours because I don't want to be hammering WEM with requests for messages, given that it's not an emergency right now. If it were an emergency, that would be different.
Right. Okay. All right. So let me take a look, see where we are. Let's see, we did new message, read messages, we read messages, winlink.org. Again, getting a registration through winlink.org. It'll help to support the endeavor, but you don't have to do it. It works either way.
Hey, Jeff?
Yep.
Yeah, one other thing I've forgotten, I'm forgetting again, that telnet, send via telnet, that checkbox, that holds even if you're set up for RF Winlink. If you're in an RF mode and you've got that checkbox set, it'll still send it out via telnet.
Right.
And that's
exactly, and that's been my frustration. Is if I'm getting ready to, you have to actually start the RF session to receive the mail, but it goes out via telnet if you have this checked. So when I would connect to a net, when I was doing a net and I wanted to do RF, I had to remember, no, I don't want to send my messages automatically using with Telnet. I wanted to toy with the RF and find the, you know, HF or FM, one way or the other. So I'd have to turn that off, or else it would automatically grab my messages and say, I'm a good boy, I sent your messages out. So yeah, so again, you can do it automatically and it works just fine. Or you can get more geeky. All right, equipment setup. All right, simplest connection. Again, I think we've kicked this course enough here. Just go to Telnet and let it work. And that can be, like I said here, like this says, it can be your normal mode. I turned it on. I'm going to set it up, and just like now, Joe, as Joe said, he polls his, he sets his up, where is it, settings, polling time, 30 minutes, an hour. This is where you set that up, right?
So that's if you're doing a Telnet session, but in my
Right.
case, I'm doing a packet Winlink session, and it's got a similar type menu. So for packet Winlink, I've set it up for every 6 hours.
Right. See, I've got mine usually set it automatic.
Yep.
But again, there's something like this, no matter what kind of session you're running. And then it will automatically grab messages. See, there's the auto connect 16. If I were to change the setting here from automatic to, let's say, 4 hours, an update. Next time to auto connect. Oh, it still says 16. All right. I have to. Maybe I'm setting it in the wrong place. Nope. 16 minutes. Oh, here. There it is. So if I set this one, Telnet session auto connect time. Reset that. Okay, now if I update, the next time it's going to be 4 hours from now. So you're not going to be hammering servers that much. So you set that all up here. And similar screen in all the other modes as well. Okay, we go back here. All right, and here I say here we could stop, frankly. This is your first assignment. Full stop. It ends here. You can now fully participate with Winlink. The frosting on the cake is then to toy with sending and receiving using RF. That's where the fun starts, as well as the major league frustrations from time to time. I've done all of these. There are others as well. I've never been able to do the packet or the P2P, but I haven't started to try that. Our apartment, my little office is in the basement. So I have to take my computer and my radio and all my stuff upstairs to one of the bedrooms and my J-pole to experiment with this stuff. And the only radio right now I've got working with this is my little Kenwood, which has got a terminal node controller, so that it's only packet. So I can get to the WEM station on packet radio. Well, at least I take that upstairs, but to use the VARA or to use RDOP or one of the other modes, I have to use my larger HF rig and go through a sound card and that kind of stuff. So you get the idea of how frustrating it can be, but how rewarding the first message that gets through is. let me go here. Okay, before I go down that road, let's talk about templates. And I'll fill out one so you can get a sense of what we're talking. Let me shut this off for now. So to give you an idea of what Tom and I were doing, I'm going to create a new message. So you hit the create message either here, up the little icon, or under message, new message. All right. Once you've got a new message screen in front of you, you go here to select the template. Now, one of the things you'll notice is that virtually every time you open up Winlink, this little, you'll get a little message, oh, we're updating your templates, or we're updating the program. So they keep this thing up to date. So this last time, I think it was like last week or something, I got a new download of templates. So if I hit select template, I get a little, so you can actually create your own too. But I get a little plus sign here that opens up all of the templates. So we get, it's kind of a nested group. The ones that we use more often than not are these ICS USA forms. That's where you're going to find all of your ICS incident command system templates. And here, of course, is the 213. So I'm going to open up the 213, and it'll look a lot like what happened when Tom sent me the message. So I click on it. Okay, click on it, and it's going to open up a browser with the 213 in it. So my incident name is, there is none. So you can see the least that one's optional. So I'm going to send this to W9 TDP, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Name, position. Okay, this is actually, now something to note. I can send this to Tom operator. Okay, I've got no call sign there. You don't necessarily need the call sign here, although it does help to identify. And I can do it simply from Jeff Fillion, because the actual call sign goes in the Winlink message, and I'll show you that. Just hold on to that for a moment. This is a test message. And the same thing happens here as before in my reply. I click here. Come on. Oh boy, come on. Don't mess with me. Oh. Okay, it makes a liar.
Oh, you have to go right after the colon. Click right
There
after
it is.
there it is.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you. Thank you, sir. And you'll see it brings up today's date. Okay. I'll go right after the time. Click. 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 Okay. Okay, like I'm filling in the blank here. All right. And it sends up the time, 2021. Same thing as it's the local time here. Okay. Very informational message, very important. Okay. Again, you're not limited as much space as you need. Approved by. Now, these are in general, these are when you're sending a message for the organization that you're supporting. This is one of the fields on the ICS 213 that the person who wants to send the message sees what you're going to send, so they approve it. So it's head honcho will approve it, and he is the incident commander. So that's where their stuff happens. And so you look at this message, it's very important, it's all set. If you want some instructions are available too by clicking there. So I'm going to submit, And here's where you get caught from time to time. Now I have to go back to Winlink. And here's the new message I just created. Incident name, nothing. Tom operator, Jeff Fillion, blah, 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 blah. The catch is you actually have to put the receiving operator's call sign in or address in here. So W9TDP needs to go up in the to field. You can put anything you want down in the message itself, but the to field up here needs to have his call sign in it. And you'll see there's an attachment, which is an XML, which is that form that I just filled out. And then you post it to the outbox. And you'll notice it's in the outbox. And if I click on the outbox, you'll see here's the message to Tom, and it's got a little attachment. You see the paper clip. If you need to edit this, you can click on the clip and go back and edit it and resave it. Since I don't have my Winlink starting automatically, I'm going to open the session, and let's do this again. And I'm going to hit start, and voila, I sent that message off to Tom. Another thing to know as far as that attachment is concerned, if I create a new message, you'll see I can grab an attachment. So I can add, here, a little picture of a coronavirus. Okay, that'll work. I'm going to take this little picture and I'm going to attach it to the message. And then I will click finish, and it attaches that to the email. So it doesn't only have to be a form that you're attaching. If you've got a list of names, if you've got a photo of an incident, if you've got those kind of things that you're attaching and sending, you can attach them here. I know there's a limitation. Does anybody know that offhand, what the size limitation is? I think there is a,
If you actually had a picture, it would probably, I think it tells you if you do to resize it, because in a lot of the exercises they want nothing larger than 5.
Okay, so if I post this to the outbox, now I'm sending this picture to Tom. So you can okay, and I thought I had that open already. Maybe I exited. So when I hit Winlink, now again, be mindful of the fact that if you do this over RF, make sure that what you're sending as an attachment is a reasonable size, or you're going to be, especially HF, you could be 10 minutes watching this darn message trying to go out. And if you lose propagation in the middle of it, you'll be very frustrated.
Did you send that out?
Go ahead, Tom.
Did you actually send that out?
Yes.
So while Tom's checking, I did do some testing over a packet, 2 meters, and a 24K file took about 5 minutes. So that's a 1,200 baht.
24K file, about 5 minutes. Okay.
See, you sent it was a 44 KB picture. Yep.
So there it is. So it wasn't instantaneous. It did, but again, this is because it was Telnet, and we're not doing RF. There it is.
But see, the exercises I've done for some of the organizations want no larger than 5 KB. So you resize it.
Yeah, unless, because normally you're not going to need any more resolution than that.
Okay. I was noticing that on your messages, I don't think that you have your GPS set right, because you should be at 43 north roughly. It's
I
like
think
we
the
are
last
29.
I think the last time I used a GPS, I was in San Antonio.
Yeah.
So I got to update that. Thank you for that. Yeah. All right. Good to
Because I'm at
know.
26 here in Florida.
Yeah, I was on the San Antonio when I used this the last time. So, all right. Good to know. All right.
Jeff,
Yep.
when you're sending a form, like the ICS 213, you fill it out, you click submit, the browser window then kind of goes blank.
Right.
You go back to Winlink.
Right.
Once that happens, can you get back to the ICS 213 and edit it if you realize you made a mistake?
I think, go ahead, Tom.
I have edited the text session of this, not the ICS form filled out. Like if I misspelled a word, I try to do that within that text portion that's going to go out, because all it's doing is telling you that this information that is in the labeled with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the blocks of the 213, it doesn't matter what the form is going to look like. You can edit the information that goes into that. This is just a convenient way of looking at it while you're filling it out.
Okay, that makes sense.
See, Jeff, if you go back to one of your original, oh yeah, okay.
I submitted. Okay. And so it creates the message here. Now, can I go back in? I can't get it from here.
No, but what I would do is,
oh, I must. Okay, let me do here. Must see that I need to put a recipient in, so it won't let you do it without a recipient.
but if you click in the message proper, like I right there.
So you can edit it here.
Right now,
That
when
doesn't
you
affect the attachment. If you were to put it in your outbox, you've got to grab it before it gets sent, certainly. But if I save it in drafts, here's my drafts. There we go. And here's the one I just did. If I click on this, it brings it up, and does it allow me to
edit it there?
yeah, see, it's not allowing me to make any changes to it. Yeah, I'm clicking, but it's, yeah. So make sure you spell it correctly the first time, or you're going to have to redo it.
I think what Tom was saying, though, is that the data that's in the message right there on the screen is what will fill in to the blank ICS form. Or
well, here, if that's just it. Here, let me. You can see I've got this.
You have to save this.
So save it to drafts. Okay, so here is the draft message again. And so it does say this is not a test. But if I were to go here and double click on the attachment,
it should fill it in correctly.
you see it didn't make any changes.
It went for the original data.
Right. You've created an XML attachment that, I suppose if you want to get into, edit the XML, reattach. Yeah.
Okay. We're not going to go there.
Wants to hand edit XML messages.
All right.
Someone wants to do it, but it's not me.
It's so the main thing is do it correctly the first time. Or if you find an error, don't send it. Delete it.
There's your message.
Words to live by.
We're still in by. All right, and another thing just to note, as far as message templates, just so that you know, there's the ICS is not the only thing there. So select the template. One of the other ones that we fill out before we do one of our incidents is, for example, the 205, a communications plan. So here's your 205 for bike the barns or whatever.
Right.
What radio functions, all this is on the 205. So you can fill it out here and send it out. Another thing that I've done before that I think is kind of handy is that you can fill it out here, send it to people that are on Winlink, but you can also fill it out here, then double click the attachment, and you can print your 205 from this. So you've got
Right.
the ability to do both here. So if you can fill it out in one place, and then you can either send it or you can print it from here, and all good.
Jeff, go back to the list of templates available.
Okay.
Select template, and that full list. Oftentimes, the weather forms, for example, way down at the bottom, that's the type of thing you click on there, and you see local weather report or severe weather reports that you can fill out to send to the National Weather Service.
Oh,
Go back to where there's the severe. See, sometimes the exercises send me a local weather report, and so I fill out that form from the data that I know. But down here, severe weather, severe weather. Well, that would ask you about going down, and you'll see the observed events, wind speed, damage, snow inches, freezing rain, heavy rain, that type of thing. And you could send that directly to the National Weather Service, Sullivan. And then there are other forms. There's like a Winlink check-in form that
Right.
if you were on an exercise, you could use a check-in form to say, I'm on station or I'm on duty. General forms.
Oh, general. Yeah. General.
See, after action reports, information, quick message, Winlink check-in, Winlink checkout, all sorts of handy things that other groups have.
nice.
There's a lot to explore here.
Now, the other thing, and this is the advanced, but there's in the settings back there, there's a template manager.
Okay.
And there's a markup language so that you could create a template of your own. So, for example, on Tuesdays when Joe and I are in the WEM and we check into the Tuesday Wisconsin Winlink check-in, I created a template there that allows me to fill in. It asks me who's there, and so I could put in Thomas and W9TDP, and it puts it into the statement that goes out from WC9AAG as to who is sending that message. So, but there's a whole markup language that will ask you various fill-in options so that you could create a form that just asks you to fill that out.
Right. And so, here I've got the edit open, but I don't know the markup, so I'm not going to even start.
Right. But basically, I said, well, what's the information they want for your check-in? your call sign, your name, your city, and anything else. No. But see, for other things like this, they want the city, the county, the state, and then the mode that you're using to fill in. So if I'm using FM or HF VARA, I can just
Right.
put that in, and it would plug that in. So you can do things like that.
All right, let's see, templates. Template selection, we looked at that. All right, I think we've hit a lot of this stuff. I sent this message, I received this message. Okay, equipment setup. We can spend, let me show you another little piece of this. I hope it'll give me the opportunity. It may complain. If I start close this, see how it's grayed out? I can't start a new session until I close the old one. So now it's not gray. So I can choose the packet Winlink, for example, and open that session. So now I have a packet session, which is what I would normally use with my Kenwood radio. And you'll see it, the initialization failed because I don't have the radio plugged in right now. But one of the things that you do when you do HF or you do HF or FM or any of those is you need to choose your channel. And it will work with your UPS or basically your GPS setting locally and give you the closest stations. I don't think it's going to work for me because right now it thinks I'm in San Antonio. But you can update that table and it'll give you the new information. And I think I did have the grid square. So yeah, we're looking at grid squares down in Texas at the moment. So that won't work. But when you're local, it will do it for Madison, and you'll see the WEM station right at the top.
Should be, what is it, 145.61?
610, yeah. So, all right.
So I'm set up.
Yep.
So I'm set up for packet Winlink. If you wanted to see my screen and try to send me a message.
Oh, okay. See you want to share. You want to send out a packet message.
Yeah, I can't share my screen.
All right, give me a second.
Yeah, I cannot share my screen. I can't
again.
do that.
You can now.
No. It's on a different computer.
Oh, it's on. Oh, that's why you can't see.
But what I can do is I think I can change my camera settings to point to the other to a camera that points to my screen. I don't know if it's going to be that good an image, but
okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
So
I may go dark here for a second, but go ahead, Joe.
all right, I'm going to put some static on the background so that you don't lose the picture here. So I've got the radio below, and 145.610 is where my packet station is, and I've already got a packet Winlink session started. And unfortunately, what's at the top of the screen is blurred by the Zoom message, but I opened a packet Winlink session. And so it's actually connecting to the radio. And you saw the radio bounce a little bit as it's being configured by my computer. And I'll originate a message. Yes, and so new message to KC9UNZ. And I'm just going to do a simple message. I'm not going to do a form, although I could. And I'll post this to the outbox. And what you see is it's automatically configuring, connecting to the WEM computer. Because for packet Winlink, there's also a checkbox. You can say that as soon as something goes in the outbox, make a connection and send it out. And that blue bar is where the message is being sent. And it's completed sending that message already. Well, almost completed. It's disconnecting. And from my point of view, it's disconnected. And so Jeff should shortly see that message. I can't hear you, Jeff.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Ken.
Okay. So if I go to Winlink and I'll shut this packet off since I don't have the packet set up at this moment.
No, you don't even have to do that. You could just go to Telnet.
Oh, right. Well,
Yep. You're already there. Well, no.
and there is
Yes.
Joe's message.
And so if you were to reply to me, I would wait for 6 hours before receiving that message.
Oh, because you're set up for 6 hours.
Yes.
Oh,
And I will acknowledge it. I'm connected to it right now. And I will hit the checkbox, post to outbox. And so when mine cycles through, it'll, I wonder if I'm lucky enough here. Come on, you can do this. Don't play. Let me just give this just a shot. Maybe I'm lucky enough for it to. One moment, please. Okay. One of the things that you will find yourself doing quite a bit, if you're not always connected, is getting your ports to work correctly. Getting your ports to work correctly when you're connecting to your radio. Every time I plug in, it claims a different port. Yeah, I wonder. Kenwood, oh, see, it doesn't, serial port. Let's try, what the heck? Let's try 5. It doesn't like that either.
May have to look up your device manager.
Yeah. Well, I've got this Westmount radio that doesn't seem to be working right at the moment. Apps. That's what I thought. Wait, where is it? Okay, sorry, I don't want to waste your time. We're coming up on, oh, here it is. Run Westmount Radio Diagnostics. And for some reason, right now, it is stopping on me. Okie doke. Okay, there we are. So look at, okay, okay, let me try this now with it refused to, yeah, and Winlink. Okay. Task. And it won't even let me kill it. Okay, now it's gone. All right. So, and I decided it was COM7. Sorry, all. I think I'm getting too deep into the weeds here. So, and it's coming up on 9. So one more quick shot here. Open session settings. Oh, dang.
Hmm.
Okay. Can't get it to
You have to, if you set it incorrectly, you have to wait for it to time out. So that could be all night. Anyway, I apologize, Luke. Luke and I were going to try a P2P session tonight, but it looks like this is going to not allow me to do that.
You could do it another night. And also, I'm gonna need help. They just completely deleted me, so I can't get back on. After 400 days, they just get rid of you.
Oh, so you'll have to set up a new account.
I have to email them because I'm registered with them, but then I can't get anywhere and there's no recovery address or anything. So I don't know if that's new or whatever, because I remember having something a long time ago, but I'll have to start all over, which is really too bad. So if we can occasionally do this, it's helpful. So yeah, they said 400 days, you lose it.
All right. Well, that's good to know. So, and we're going to get stuck there. Anyway.
I'll figure it out. Anyway, I gotta go. So have a good night.
Thanks, Carolyn. Okay. Let me stop share. We'll let this, maybe this will time out. All right, gang. Any questions? Let me stop the reach. Yep.
Thousands of questions. I mean, Lord, thing is, the way I had my Winlink set up, it was just set up, to go across the internet the old way. So I have to learn all of this Winlink over the radio stuff, how to hook it up to the radio and do all that. So this is going to be a learning experience for me, but one that looks like it's going to be interesting. At least I got the Winlink part down.
Interesting is a good word. Yeah, and there is more and more focus in general on digital modes, but for emergency response, the ability to do Winlink is becoming more and more important. So me nattering on about it is not all, but virtually everything that I sit in on, somebody's talking about Winlink. And, for the state of Wisconsin as well, talking about Arden, but we won't go there tonight. But, one of the first places to go is to at least set up an account and be able to do Telnet Winlink. And then, like I said, full stop, you're working. But other than that, the next step then is to start playing, is to get look at that. It's locked. This thing's just not timing out, Luke. But the next step then is going to be, like any digital mode, making the connection between the computer and whatever radio you have is the stuff of hair pulling.
Yeah.
But once you get there, it's like, oh, that's how it works. So sometimes it helps to get somebody that's got it working, who's wrestled with through the frustration. And maybe Carolyn's right. Maybe what we should do is, once we've done this introductory one a couple of times. Maybe what we should do is to set aside a night with a couple of us with our radios in here and say, okay, we're just going to have a work session on connecting Winlink to your sound card and to your radio and making it work that way. Jeff?
Quick question. Steve texted me and he said he's got this up and running. I've told him this weekend I'm going to try, and it doesn't look that complicated to get up and running. But are any of you guys, because you guys seem to be the brain cell, that Joe, Tom, you, Jeff, are any of you on or check your Winlink email regularly, like once a day? Because what I was thinking, if I try and set it up this weekend, well, it doesn't do me any good if I don't have somebody to connect to make sure it works.
Good point.
Mine is running nearly all the time.
Okay.
And I check it probably once a day. I know Joe pulls stuff down once every 6 hours anyway.
Yeah,
And
So I do that. I know Tom checks as well, but you don't always you're not restricted to sending email to Winlink addresses. You can send email to a regular internet address by putting, W or N9TWA@ARRL.net,
Oh,
which is
so all you got,
for me,
all
and I'll get it.
you got to do is put the domain name, use the
Right.
domain email address. Okay. I didn't know
And
that. Okay.
And that gives you your usage.
Okay.
The other catch to that is that by sending it to someone, they've got something like 90 days where they can respond to you. Or maybe it's a year and a half, I'm not sure, but they can respond to you, and Winlink will take an internet address and move it into the Winlink system.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So one of the things I do is when I try to do a weekly test, is I copy myself at my internet addresses to keep those in the system.
Okay.
and vice versa. You can send to, in my case, KC9UNZ@winlink.org.
Oh, okay.
There is a catch to that if you're not in the system, I think is it a double forward slash? I think you have to put like, if it's the first time you've done that, I think it's a double slash in the subject line, W2K. I'm sure, do you know this, Joe? There's a special.
It's come up and I've forgotten. It's forward slash. So the regular slashes, not the backslashes.
Right.
WL2K space and then your subject line.
Right,
And
and that way it'll allow it to go through. So virtually, it's a way of eliminating spam to your Winlink account.
Okay, and you say it's the first time. So after you're registered and set it up or whatever, don't need to do that again? Is that what?
Well, after the first time you send external email to that account.
Okay, okay,
Otherwise it gets rejected.
okay. I'll try the telnet first, and that looks pretty easy to get set up, and then I'll deal with my ICOM to see if I can do it over RF or whatever.
Yeah, one of the things that I find that's interesting with the RF is that at least when you get that, when you click on the addresses and you update your addresses, one of the things I found myself doing, particularly in HF, is that I'm going to go down. I know, okay, I'm going to go 40 meters. And so I choose the 40-meter addresses and I'll click the first one and I will start the session. It'll try, and then it'll give up. Okay, that one's not close enough. Propagation's not good. Go to the next one. Hit it, tell it to try it. And it'll try it, and maybe it won't work. Sometimes I have to try like 4 different stations in that list because it lists them out according to how far away they are. So you start at the closest one and work your way down. Sometimes the one that works best is 300 miles away, but that's due to the bounce in the propagation. But you go down that list and you try it. I think it usually tries, depending on what you have it set on, I think mine's at 10. It'll give it 10 attempts to hit that HF station and send the message, and then it'll time out. And just go down the list until you find the one that will accept the message. The propagation will work. And again, the fun thing that's funny in HF is that you usually end up having to use some kind of skip to do that. So I've noticed that it's like, oh, it's the 250 mile away station on HF that picked up my Winlink message and sent it out. Oh, okay. Wonders of ham radio. Not the
Yeah,
guy
I'm
that.
kinda- I'm kind of screwed on HF because I still don't have HF antennas up. 2 HF radios sitting there, and after that wire broke last year, I still haven't got that up, so. And wrong time of year to be messing with all that stuff. Unless you're Tom down in Florida.
Right.
Yeah, right.
My slingshot putting it up in the palm tree.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
did. I did. I was using 2 palm trees.
awesome, awesome.
Whatever works.
All right. Okay,
All
any
right.
more? I should let you guys go to bed. Tom, it's 10 o'clock out there, so he's.
You know, but everything, remember, it's 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Everything runs an hour later like this. The 10 o'clock news here is
Right.
11 o'clock news.
Yeah,
Right.
Jeff, I
Anyway.
have a question for you. I came back,
Yep.
but wait till everything's over. I just want to talk to you at the end
Right.
here.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to close off then and say goodnight to everyone. And
All right.
see you
all.
back in Madison.
Good night.
Appreciate it.
Nice seeing faces for a change.
Right. Okay, gang, this is recorded, so I'll be putting it up where you can grab it. So,
Thank you.
all right, guys, I'm gonna stop
night.
the recording.
Wait.
Stop the
Yeah, well, don't
recording.
leave me.
Yeah, I won't, I'm not going yet. I'm just gonna stop the recording here.
Well, thanks
Stop.
for staying so late at Space Place.